Let's look at the logic models for each of our interventions to deal with childhood obesity and see what smart metrics might be for those interventions. For nutritional labeling, let's look at two activities and outputs. One is advocacy to the food and beverage industry to gain support for nutritional labeling. There, the output would be how many businesses did we contact, or turning to educating parents and children about nutrition, it would be the size and scope of those programs. Turning now to intermediate outcomes for that strategy. For the business advocacy, an intermediate outcome would be appropriate labels adopted. Of course, we would need a particular metric for knowing what constituted appropriate label and how many we expected. And for educating parents, it would be the number of parents educated and how well they implement what they learn. For ultimate outcomes, and we'll have the same ultimate outcome for each of our strategies, the metrics involve lowering the number of obese children, lowering the rates of diabetes and heart disease, and lowering spending on obesity-related medical treatment. Let's turn now to mandatory nutrition education. For activities and outputs, one activity and output was acquiring education resources like textbooks and assignments and designing curriculum, and it would be how many materials did we acquire. Another one would be partnering with K-12 schools to implement school curriculum, and it would be the number of schools involved. For intermediate outcomes, we want to have more classes taught and students reached, so intermediate outcomes would be the number of students reached, the number of schools with nutrition requirements, and once again, the ultimate outcomes are the same for all of our strategies. Turning finally to the program for building more parks and playgrounds, especially in poor neighborhoods. A metric for activities and outputs would be the number of parks under construction. An intermediate outcome might be the number of children actually using the parks and how much their playtime has increased before they had parks. And once again, the ultimate outcomes are the same. If you look back at the three logic models and the metrics I've assigned to them, you'll see that some are smarter than others. Particularly in the area of activities and outputs, it's been a little bit difficult to assign particular numbers, for example, to the advocacy strategy. I've been more specific with respect to intermediate outcomes, and you can judge for yourself whether they're specific enough that the philanthropist will be able to give me a bonus based on my achieving those outcomes.